blow. The first round of the U.S. Open wrapped up just a few minutes ago, and there are plenty of big stories. The biggest story to come out of the U.S. Open, the first round anyway, came very early yesterday morning when Simona Halep, the women's overall #1 seed, fell in straight sets to Kai Kanepi in the very first match of the tournament. Some of the other bigger stories from the first round came when Stan Wawrinka, who was unseeded because he's been hurt so much over the course of this year, he took out Grigor Dimitrov, who was 8th seeded on the men's side, in straight sets. And then moving on to today, Novak Djokovic struggled with heat, and he didn't get much help from the crowd today, but he did end up grinding out a big first-round win. And then one more thing from last night, David Ferrer had to retire while he was up a break in the second set last night against Rafael Nadal in the primetime match, and that turned out to be David Ferrer's final match in a Grand Slam of his career. So we're going to go to some of the key results, and we're going to start on the women's side of the first round. You got to start with Serena when you're talking about women's tennis, and she won easily last night. Venus in a match we highlighted in our preview the other day. Venus beat Svetlana Kuznetsova in 3 sets. American Sloane Stephens, who actually won the U.S. Open last year, she won in straight sets. Unseeded Victoria Azarenka, who is a former #1 in the world, she won in straights. Garbine Muguruza won in 2. Elise Mertens had a tougher match than expected, but she did pull through in the third. 9th seeded Julia Gorgeous had to survive a 3-set scare, but she did survive and advance. But seeded Pavlyuchenkova was upset after dominating the first set, so she is out of the draw. But in a little bit of a surprise, you would say, American Vanya King is through to the second round. She won in straights. And this morning, starting the day off, Caroline Wozniacki took care of Sam Stosur. I think most people figured she would win, but because Stosur is such a good vet, you couldn't write that one off as a definite win. So big win for Caroline there. Yelena Ostapenko won a tight 3-setter against Andrea Petkovic this morning. Angelique Kerber, Petra Kvitova, and Naomi Osaka all won easily today. Kirsten Flipkens sent home Coco Vandeweghe earlier this afternoon, and that was big. Vandeweghe had a good run last year. I think she made it to the semifinals, but it was definitely a deep run last year, and she got sent home in the first round. Not happy. She needs a new racket for the next tournament. She broke that one pretty good. Joanna Larson beat Elise Cornet, and that was a first round match we highlighted the other day. Larson won at 6-2 in the third. American Christina McHale lost to fellow American Francesca Di Lorenzo 6-1, 7-6, and Di Lorenzo is actually a qualifier, so the quali is into the second round. Or just a couple hours ago, in the primetime match, Madison Keys beat Parmentier in straights. American Bernarda Pera beat Putin-Savit in 2 sets. Jeannie Bouchard, who also had to qualify to even get into the main draw, is through to the second round. And then just not 15 minutes ago, the last match of the night wrapped up. That was Maria Sharapova. She won it in a second set tiebreak after being up 5-1 earlier in that set. So that's some of the women's results from the first round. We'll go to the men's results now. So we already mentioned Wawrinka beat Dimitrov, and Nadal won with Ferrer retiring the other night. Yesterday, earlier in the day, Andy Murray dropped the first set to Duckworth, but he did end up winning the next 3. That was big for him because he had to pull out of Wimbledon. He hasn't been healthy. It was fairly hot up in New York, and he played a whole lot longer than he wanted to, but he did pull it out, so that was big for him. Juan Martín del Potro handled American Donald Young very easily. That wasn't a match at all. Big John Isner's through to the second, which is good. He's definitely the best American left in the draw, and he's honestly the best American in the draw to begin with. Jack Sock he's through the second round after beating Andriozzi in a very fast, under 2-hour match. But the problem with Jack Sock is he has yet to win 2 straight matches in 2018, so he's going to have to do that. I believe that's a primetime match tomorrow night on Arthur Ashe, so he'll be in the spotlight trying to do that for the first time this year. American Ryan Harrison fell in a marathon match to the 5th-seeded Kevin Anderson. Harrison played a whole lot better than I think anybody could have expected. Anderson is just much better than Harrison. Milos Raonic dropped the 3rd set to Carlos Barak, but he did recover nicely to get that 4th set win. Sam Querrey had to retire in the 4th set against Andreas Seppi, and Querrey was down 2-1 when he retired. I know a bunch of people are high on him possibly making a run here. He was one of the American men's best options, but he had to retire in the first round. And then yesterday also, Steve Johnson handled Dennis Istomin fairly easily. He won that one in 3 sets. So some of the men's matches today, Tennis Sandgren won in straight sets against Victor Troicki. Wang Chung, who he really broke out in the Australian Open this year too. He beat Roger Berankis. After Berankis, he was forced to retire in that one. Earlier this evening, Francis Tiafoe, the American, beat Adrian Manarino in 4 sets. And then seasoned vet Julian Benito upset the 22nd-seeded Cecchinato. Nick Kyrgios he started off hot, had a rough, a little bit of a shaky second set, but he was able to get past that and win in 4. And then Federer in the primetime match cruised and won 3 quick and easy sets, and he's through to the second round. So we're going to go back. Now we're going to talk about the second round now, some of the better matches in the second round. We're going to start with the women, and I think the best match of the entire second round, men or women's side, will be tomorrow afternoon when Camila Giorgi plays Venus Williams. If Venus wins and Serena also wins later Friday, you would figure that would have to be a primetime match. I'm sorry, Serena plays tomorrow too, which is Wednesday, but if they both win, they would play each other Friday, and that would be, you'd figure, have to be a primetime match. That'd be a huge crowd at U.S. Open, so they'd put that on Ashe at night. And then other good matches in the second round. Lucy Safarova will play Ashley Barty. Julia Gorgeous will play Ekaterina Makarova. That should be a very good one. American Vanya King will play the young Swede Rebecca Peterson. Sophia Kenin, who is also American, will have to face 32-seeded Maria Sakkari. And defending champ Sloane Stephens will play the Ukrainian Annalena Kalinina. 18-year-old American Claire Liu will play Anastasia Sevastova. And Angie Kerber and Joanna Larson, they're facing each other. That should be one of the better matches of the second round. I think that was the one the other day that we were talking about would be a very intriguing match. And American Taylor Townsend, who is through to the second round, will have to face the, I believe, 10th-seeded Yelena Ostapenko. Should be, hopefully Townsend can hang in with that. Ostapenko is really tough, but it'll be fun to watch. Francesca Di Lorenzo, who a minute ago we told you she's the qualifier that beat Christina McHale, she will have to face 13th-seeded Kiki Bertens. And Madison Keys will play fellow American Bernarda Pera in the second round. That match should be a Thursday match. Moving on to the men's side, some of the better second rounds. Jack Sock will try, as we said a minute ago, to get his second straight win for the first time in 2018. He will play Vasishvili sometime more than likely. I think that would be Thursday. It's the bottom half of the draw. Steve Johnson will have a very tough test against Dominic Thiem, who's one of the better up-and-comers on the men's side. American Taylor Fritz has to face Jason Kubler from Australia. 19-year-old Canadian Denis Shapovalov will play the vet Andreas Seppi. Jeremy Chardy, the Frenchman, will play South African Kevin Anderson, and I believe this could end up being the best men's match of the second round. I said earlier that Monfils and Nishikori could possibly be the most entertaining, which I stand by that, but I think Chardy and Anderson may be the best. The American Dennis Kudla will have to get past Delpo to keep his U.S. Open run going. And Andy Murray will play Fernando Verdasco. Murray had to be on the court a lot longer than he liked, as we said a minute ago. He's coming off an injury. It's kind of hot. He did find a way to push through, and Verdasco he's a guy that more so than even most professional tennis players, he can take advantage of what Murray had to deal with in the first round and try to use that against him in the second round. Tsitsipas will play Medvedev, and that could be the best match featuring two guys that people don't really know of yet. You'll know both of these guys very soon if you keep up with tennis, and that should be a very entertaining match. John Isner will have to deal with the Chilean Nicolas Jarry. Milos Raonic versus Gael Simone will be that should be a good match too. That one's, I'd put that in one of the top 2 or 3 matches of the second round. Tennis Sangren, that American that had the magical run at the Australian Open, he will have Novak Djokovic in the second round. Which again, Novak struggled a little bit today. He looked vulnerable, and he looked annoyed that the crowd wasn't really on his side, and you can bet that the crowd will definitely not be on his side Thursday when he faces American Tennis Sangren. Again, Monfils Nishikori, that should be a good one. I believe it'll be the most entertaining. Probably not the best match, but it should be the most entertaining match of the second round. But if I can only pick, so those are the best matches of the second round. If I could only pick one on the men or the women's side, give me Camila Giorgi versus Venus Williams. But so that's it. We're through the first round. Half the players have already been eliminated. Second round starts 11 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. It's been a long 2 days, but a fun 2 days. The next 2 days should be even better. And we'll talk to y'all after the second round. Thank you for watching, and for more information, go to jacksonbleachers.com.